Hello grade 5 and welcome to session 5 of our lesson, which is fractions. Let's start with exercise number 6. Find 5 fractions equivalent to each of the following fractions. We have these fractions. I'm going just to work on the first 2 fractions and find 5 equivalent fractions. We said that if I want to find equivalent fractions, we have 2 ways. Either by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number, or by dividing the numerator and the denominator by the same number. But it's easier to use the multiplication. So let's use the multiplication and multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number you choose. I choose to multiply them by 2, then by 3, then by 4, then by 5, then by 6. So multiplying them by 2 will give me 2 over 6. Multiply 1 over 3 by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 it's 9. Multiplying this fraction by 4 will give me 4 over 12. Multiplying it by 5 will give me 5 over 15. And multiplying it by 6 will give me 6 over 18. You can choose these numbers. Okay, you can multiply the numerator and the denominator by 8 or by 9 or by 10. You can choose the numbers you want. Now, similarly to the second fraction, I'm going to find 5 equivalent fractions. So starting by multiplying it by 2, multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number, which is 2. So the answer will be 14 over 10. Now multiplying the numerator and the denominator by 3 will give me 21 over 15. Multiplying it by 4, 7 times 4 is 28, 5 times 4 is 20. Can I multiply this one by 2? Yes, you can. Can I multiply this one by 3? Yes, you can. Can I multiply it by 4 and find equivalent fraction? Yes, you can. But it's easier to multiply the first one because it's the smallest one. Now I'm going to continue. This one is by 2, by 3, by 4, now by 5, and then by 6. So I found 5 equivalent fractions. Okay, now let's start with exercise number 10. Copy and complete. As you can see here, I want to divide. If I want to divide, it means I'm simplifying the fraction. So 18 over 12 divided by 3. So let's think. 18, 3 times what give you 18? It's 3 times 6. 12, 3 times what give you 12? It's 3 times 4. So if you divide 18 over 12 by 3, you will get 6 over 4. Now, 6 over 4 divided by 2, they are even numbers, so they are divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2, find its half. The half of 6 is 3. And the half of 4 is 2. So the answer is 3 over 2. Or if you can see here, the same fraction, which is 18 over 12, give me the answer directly in one step, which is 3 over 2. Let's think. 18. What are the factors of 18? What factor multiply by 3 to give you 18? It's 3 times 6. What factor multiply by 2 to give you 12? It's 2 times 6. So you have 3, you have 2. So we are dividing by 6. Divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So as you can conclude, that if I want to simplify a fraction, we can simplify it in 2 steps or more, or we can simplify it in 1 step. How? Either we can simplify it here by 3, then by 2, or we can simplify it directly in 1 step, which is 3 times 2, which is 6. It will give me the same answer. Now let's start with exercise 11. Simplify the following fractions. Simplify, it means make it smaller. It means I have to divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So let's start with 3 over 6. Let's think about the common divisors between 3 and 6. What are the divisors of 3? They are 1 and 3. What are the divisors of 6? They are 2 and 3, 1 and 6. So the greatest common divisor between 3 and 6 is 3. So if I divide 3 by 3, the answer will be 1. If you divide 6 by 3, the answer will be 2. So it will be 1 over 2. In other words, I'm dividing the numerator and the denominator by the same number, which is 3. Okay? You can use it in two ways. Now let's move to the second one, 16 over 20. We can divide it in more than one step, but let's think about the greatest common divisor between 16 and 20. It's obvious that it's 4. So we can divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. If you divide 16 by 4, the answer will be 4. If you divide 20 by 4, the answer will be 5. So the fraction, the equivalent simplified fraction is 4 over 5. Now we have 8 over 4. 8 is a multiple of 4. So the greatest common divisor of 8 and 4 is 4, because 8 is equal to 4 times 2. And 4 is equal to 4 times 1. So dividing by 4, we will get 2 over 1. The last one, 240 over 1000. Whenever you see 0 in the numerator, it can cross a 0 in the denominator. In other words, I'm dividing the fraction by 10. If you divide a number by 10, you will remove 1 0. Okay? So, removing 1 0, removing 1 0. So the remaining number will be 24 over 100. Let's think with the greater common divisor between 24 and 100. 24, it's 4 times 6. 100, it's 4 times 25. So the greatest common divisor of 24 and 100 is 4. So dividing by 4, the answer will be 6 over 25. So the equivalent fraction is 6 over 25. Now let's start comparing by using less than, greater than, or equal. In the first case, we have same denominator. So the fraction with the greater numerator is the greatest. So 5 over 7 is greater than 3 over 7. The next one, we have also same denominator, so 4 over 9 is greater than 1 over 9. Look here, we have different numerators and different denominators. And if you can think in a new way, we can simplify this fraction. If you simplify this fraction, which is 10 over 12, they are even numbers. Simplify it by 2, the answer will be 5 over 6. Look, I'm going to simplify it by 2. The answer will be equal to 5 over 6. How? By dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2. So I got equal answer, so these fractions are equivalent. Now look at the second fraction. They have same numerators, so we are going to compare the denominators. The fraction having the smallest denominator is the greatest. It's opposite. Similarly here, who's the smallest? 3. So it's the greatest fraction. Similarly here, they have same numerators. So who's greater? 3 over 10 or 3 over 100? Of course, it's 3 over 10. When having same numerator, the fraction with the smaller denominator is the greater. Now let's start with exercise number 15, arrange in the increasing order. Increasing order, it means from the smallest to the greatest. Let's start with part A. We have 7 over 3, 2 over 3, 10 over 3, and 4 over 3. As you can see here, these four fractions have the same denominator. So in this case, we just compare the numerators. So the smallest one is 2 over 3, then 4 over 3, then 7 over 3, then 10 over 3. And don't forget to put the symbols. 2 over 3 is less than, 4 over 3 is less than, 7 over 3 is less than 10 over 3. Now let's start with part B. We have 10 over 7, 10 over 3, 10 over 13, and 10 over 11. In this case, we have same numerators, so pay attention, it's opposite. So the smallest one is the fraction having the greatest denominator. Okay, the greatest denominator give a smaller fraction. So 10 over 13 is the smallest one. Then we have 10 over 11. Then it's smaller than 10 over 7, which is smaller than 10 over 3. And don't forget to put the less than signs. Okay, now let's solve exercise number 16. In this case, we want to arrange the fractions in the decreasing order. It means from the greatest to the smallest. Starting with part A, we have 5 over 14, 5 over 10, 5 over 8, 5 over 11, 5 over 26, and 5 over 4. As you can see here, they have the same numerators. So I want to compare the denominator, but pay attention. In this case, we have opposite results. So the greatest fraction is the fraction that has the smallest denominator. So the greatest fraction is, yes, it's 5 over 4. Then it's 5 over 8, then 5 over 10, then 5 over 11, then 5 over 14, then 5 over 26. And don't forget to put the signs. Now in part B, we have 12 over 13, 1 over 13, 31 over 13, 15 over 13, and 8 over 13. In this case, we have same denominators, so we just compare the numerators. The fraction with the greatest numerator is the greater. Let's start. The greatest fraction is 31 over 13. Then we have 15 over 13. Then we have 12 over 13. Then 8 over 13. And the smallest one is 1 over 13. And we are done. Don't forget to put the signs because we are ordering them in the decreasing order from the greatest to the smallest. And by this, we finished our session. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.